Hey guys, so our next unit is just to revisit back to Algebra 1. We're going to revisit linear functions. Make sure you get that EQ written down on your paper. Just going to talk about the basics of linear functions and using linear regression. That's using stat edit on your calculator, if you recall that from Algebra 1. Remember your linear mother function. Looks like this guy right here. All right, the function itself is y equals x, and it has a slope of 1. Remember, that's this piece right over here. Right there. Slope is 1, it just goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and so on. Your y-intercept is 0, because that's where it intercepts the y-axis. And the domain and range right here on the bottom are all real numbers for both, because it goes left and right forever, goes up and down forever. If you're going to solve a linear equation, this is a basic one, but it's kind of a monster because it's just so dang long. Alrighty, so jot that guy down in there. Once you do, remember you got to use a distributive property to clean this thing up just a little bit. And then get the x on one side, put your numbers on the other, life is good. So we get a 6x minus 3 when I use the distributive property there. Don't forget that that negative comes with the 2 when you're distributing here. So it's a positive 2x and a negative 2. And multiply that fraction in, that becomes 4 times 12, which is 48. And then you divide it by 3 to get 16. Then again right here, 4 times negative 15 is 60. Divide that by 3. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yep. So 60, divide that by 3, and you get a negative 20. Now we can combine like terms and start moving stuff around. So 6x and 2x are like terms to give me 8x. Negative 3 and negative 2 give me the negative 5. And no like terms on the right-hand side. At this point, you can change it up just a little bit. Some of you will move the x left. Some of you will move it right. Doesn't really matter because you're going to get the same answer either way. I like to move the smaller one towards the larger one. Or the one, rather, I guess. I like to move it so that it's going to end up with a positive answer, preferably. So that guy's going to go away. I get that 8x because 16x minus 8x is 8x. Now I've got to move the 20 over. Which leaves me with 15 equals 8x. Lastly, to get that x by itself, I just have to get rid of the 8. There it is. Sorry, it's jumping around. So if I divide by 8 on both sides, then I'm left with x equals 15 eighths. I'm going to leave it in fraction form because it's a better number than a decimal. It's a lot more exact, and I can't simplify it down really, so I'm good to go. Okay, last little piece I'm going to show you here, if I can get it there, is just a reminder about linear regression. So take a moment, pause this, and jot that table down. If this were an actual scenario, we could answer some questions about like what function can be used to model the situation, or if tickets were free, how many people would be expected to attend. We can answer a lot of questions if we know a little bit about the equation. But since all they gave us are data points, and we don't want to graph all of this junk, because that would be a really big graph that we would have to use, and it would be hard to be accurate. We're going to use the calculator and let it do a little linear regression for us. So I'm going to take just a minute, and I want you to write down all these steps right down here. So, linear regression. Okay. It's used to write the equation, or write the function based on a set of data points. The steps to actually do this are these. This is on your calculator, which of course you don't have in front of you, but I'll show you when you get here. So stat edit, when you get to L1 and L2, that's where you're going to enter in your data. Okay? This set right here will be L1, all of those, and your Y values are always L2. Okay? So you'll enter those values into those two lists. Then you're going to go back and hit stat calc 4. 4 is going to happen this time because it's a linear function, so we want to do linear regression. If you look on your calculator, you'll notice that 5 is quadratic regression. We'll use that in another unit or two. Vars, y-vars, inner, inner, inner. That's what e times 3 means. This process right here was from when I had the old calculators, the TI-83s. Since we're getting new ones in, this piece might be a little different by the time you actually get to class because of the different style calculator. So just a heads up on that. Essentially what I want you to have down is this first chunk right here at least, because then we can use it to write equations. That's it. I'm done talking, so don't forget to write your questions. Write that summary. If you're in regular, remember we will do that in class, and hope you guys have a great day.